It is embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing. And the fact is that originally it's, oh yeah, you know, we're looking towards everything. Then they had to double down. They actually redacted this statement. They redacted a statement. They redacted the statement saying we're looking at everything, saying no, we're actually not looking at most of the stuff. We're looking at a lie spread on social media that went viral. We are looking into a literal lie spread on social media that got spoken into fact. We're looking at a lie.
The WNBA just handed Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever a punishment so ridiculous even Angel Reese had to blink twice, and she's been living for the drama. Did the league just expose its true colors? Or is this just another episode of Let's Confuse? The fans for ratings, spoiler alert. Things got spicy, messy, and absolutely hilarious. Buckle up, because this league's plot twists are better than a soap opera written by a caffeine-fueled raccoon.
When you don't need to think logically, when you don't need to think like a business, when you can continue to put activism at the forefront because daddy's going to continue to pay your bills, you're allowed to get off the rails. You're allowed to say whatever outlandish stuff you want to say because it doesn't matter. You'll never fail.
There's opening tips to the player foul from your perspective. What you saw in the play out, what happened.
Basketball player, refs got it right.
The WNBA, that dazzling league of competitive mediocrity, where passion goes to die, and rivalries are considered hate crimes. If you ever wondered what professional basketball would look like after being filtered through a human resources department's handbook and a Pinterest board labeled kindness, look no further. So let's talk about the latest sitcom-level drama, featuring none other than Caitlin Clark, the golden child of actual basketball talent, and Angel Reese, the self-proclaimed villain of the court who seems to think every arena is her personal WWE ring, okay?
Okay, so I didn't hear anything outside of the run-of-the-mill booing. But the WNBA seems content to follow through with this ridiculous investigation. Who is the WNBA going to let control their pocket strings, their pocketbooks? Because it seems to me like the new fans are the ones that's funding this whole league now. I mean, we make up about 70% of the fans overall. Otherwise, yesterday's game would have been watched by about 400,000 people, maybe. It probably got watched by what? Upwards of 2 million? I mean, does the WNBA want to lose Caitlin Clark fans? Because I think as much as people want to support Caitlin Clark...
Picture this: Caitlin Clark, queen of clutch high IQ plays, and an actual understanding of basketball, makes a smart tactical move. She goes in for what can only be described as the most polite, well-executed tackle in recent WNBA history. You know, the kind of play you'd see in any real sport that still has a pulse. But apparently in the WNBA, if you dare touch someone, you've committed a felony.
Fans yell, and fans scream, and fans try to do anything they can to diminish their opponent's ability to make a bucket. And I think that it's very hard to really understand or really interpret this sound that way, at least for me it is. And I'm really, really, really hoping that the WNBA did not just announce an official investigation based on internet.
Enter Angel Reese, who rather than just taking the play and moving on, decided she was starring in her own personal Fast and Furious sequel. Full contact, full drama, and full-blown attitude. But here's the real kicker, Caitlin. She just walks away. Doesn't flinch, doesn't yell, doesn't even blink. Just straight up strolls off like she's late for brunch and doesn't have time for B-movie theatrics, but that wasn't the headline. No, the WNBA didn't zero in on the fact that Angel responded like she was auditioning for a street fight. Instead, the league, in its infinite wisdom and total lack of common sense, decided to blame, drumroll, the Indiana Fever fans. That's right.
I'm so angry about this. I'm so angry about this is because how many kids are there in that audience? How many kids are there? And I'm sorry. I'm cool with idiots online branding me as whatever they want to. But when it comes to innocent kids who just want to watch their favorite team, favorite players play basketball, and thankfully they're going to be oblivious to this. But I'm sorry, you're branding kids as dangerous. You are branding kids who are just enjoying their game, who are having the time of their lives watching this league as dangerous. This league does not want to grow. This Players Association do not want to grow. Neko Wumake, don't criticize. Watch, don't criticize.
So mad at how AB defended her teammate, how DeWanna Bonner spoke about the fans. They were so mad about a common basketball play in which Angel Reese admitted was a basketball play, that they went out of their way to make things like this. Unless the powers that be make some drastic changes to support our players and their fans, I don't think Indianapolis should be allowed to host the WNBA's All-Star Weekend. These people are writing emails because they're so emotionally unhinged. They're so emotionally unhinged. They've never been checked a day in their life. Their parents allow them to act like fools. With no repercussion, with no consequence. Always being acquiesced to every little complaint, to every little need, to every little this, to every little that. They're writing emails to get the Indiana Fever.
The people who had the audacity to support their own team and boo someone who went after their star player. Criminals, monsters. How dare they express emotion? Apparently, the WNBA has decided that being passionate, loyal, and even mildly confrontational is now a punishable offense because you see rivalries are dangerous. Competitiveness is toxic, and showing any kind of emotion other than gentle clapping and Instagram-friendly smiles. Absolutely unacceptable.
Ago, we had a situation that shook the earth. That is Caitlin Clark putting a flagrant foul on Angel Reese, and that foul arguably was probably one of the most transcendent moments in Caitlin Clark's career. To me, that moment there showed the world that Caitlin Clark wasn't whacking down for nothing, and she wasn't scared to get in the mix when it comes to protecting her teammates and stopping somebody from making a basket. Well, many other Angel Reese fans had rage war against Caitlin Clark fan base by saying racial slurs online. And me personally, I'm staying out of the race stuff as of right now. But for them to sit up there and lie and say that Angel Reese is getting called racist names during the game. I had somebody from my team sitting right behind Chicago Sky bench. Wasn't nobody sitting there.
It's almost as if the league is allergic to the very thing that built sports drama. Not fake PR drama, real and court tension. But no. We're living in the WNBA utopia, where every player is expected to be a smiling ambassador of goodwill, and any deviation from that script sends the front office into an existential crisis. You'd think the WNBA would love this Caitlin versus Angel saga. It's literally the most attention they've gotten since someone accidentally turned on a game while trying to find the cooking channel, but instead of letting the rivalry breathe, evolve, and God forbid drive ratings, they've decided to smother it with a weighted blanket of sensitivity and bad PR. Caitlin Clark, meanwhile, has become the league's Rorschach test. Whatever you think about her, people see what they want to see. Some see a talented athlete who's lifting the league out of obscurity. Others apparently see a supervillain who causes entire franchises to cry into their protein shakes. And if you dare defend her, welcome to the WNBA blacklist, where reason goes to rot.
There's been called racial slurs for an entire day, but they're on the Indiana Fever. They don't care about those players. It's only certain players. WNBA players, they don't want Caitlin Clark, and it's very clear. WNBPA releasing a statement is the most embarrassing thing I've seen, because you know what? When it comes to the Fever players, it doesn't count. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. WNBPA said something. And you know what? Their stance is clear. There's no place for hate unless it's towards Caitlin Clark or her teammates. Then it's fair game. They have made that point abundantly clear.
Let's rewind. This all started with a game. A real, actual basketball game. Caitlin makes a smart move. Angel reacts like she's been insulted on my. Caitlin walks off unbothered, radiating more grace than the WNBA's entire PR department could buy on clearance. But instead of applauding that composure, the league releases a statement condemning Indiana fans because clearly the fans of the problem. You've got to admire the commitment. The WNBA will do anything to avoid addressing the actual issue. Angel's retaliation swept under the rug, or post-game attitude, just emotions. But a few fans yelling boo. Unacceptable, shut it down. Call the morality police. It's almost like the league wants everyone to pretend that competitiveness is mean, that it hurts feelings, that it ruins the pastel-themed image. They're so desperate to maintain. They want everyone to be besties singing Kumbaya after each turnover, group hugs after fouls, maybe a mid-court tea party instead of a tip-off. And don't you dare call it a rivalry that's too intense, too spicy, too much like what people actually watch sports for. No, let's rebrand it as spirited engagement or mutual athletic respect.
Reality. They lost sight of what real sports is about. The fans at the Indiana Fever game yesterday, they were being fans. They booed. They cheered. They screamed. They yelled. That's it. The Angel Reese fans, the old guard, the lowest common denominator that resides in the WNBA, the nose picker, people that scratch their butt and don't wash their hands, those people saw that Caitlin Clark hard foul on Angel Reese, and they saw it as an opportunity. They saw it as an opportunity to do what they always do.
That way nobody's feelings get hurt, except of course the ones of the people actually trying to enjoy the game, because that's always the priority, right? Protecting the delicate sensibilities of everyone involved, even if it means sacrificing the authentic atmosphere that makes sports so thrilling in the first place. Now let's dive into this punishment. The WNBA decided to dish out in response to the whole debacle. Spoiler alert. It's not what you might expect you'd think with all the drama. Surrounding the incident, anyone would face some real consequences, maybe. Angel Reese gets a fine or a stern warning for whatever aggressive play or attitude caused the uproar. Nope, nada. Instead, the WNBA's grand disciplinary move was to publicly shame Indiana Fever fans. Yep, you read that right. The punishment is aimed at the crowd who had the audacity to boo, because how dare fans show any emotional investment in a game? They shelled out actual cash to watch the nerve. What's next? Banning cheering altogether. Imposing a mandatory silence rule during games. Heaven forbid someone clap or react in a way that might be taken as sarcastic or disrespectful. It's like they want the arena to turn into a quiet library where the only sound allowed is polite applause, perfectly timed and utterly devoid of passion or edge. Welcome to the new era of sports where enthusiasm is regulated and fans are the real villains.
Indianapolis to LaGuardia, New York, I got an email in my inbox relating to a WNBA statement, and to be quite frank, I was surprised to see it. I didn't think these things would be a topic this year. It's certainly not at this point, but here we go again.